you see that game? That was like so epic. It was so epic. Oh my god, how are we gonna beat this with game 3? How are we gonna beat that game with game 3? I don't know. Maybe if like the exact same situation happens and then like Huck like mysteriously like has like 9 warp prisms and warps DTs all in the back of his base and everything just dies. That's how you could beat that game. Other than that, I don't know. But we're gonna watch game 3 because we gotta watch game 3. Now it's 1-1. Huck's up 1 because ThorZaIN failed it all in. ThorZaIN 1-1 because not up 1. ThorZaIN 1-1 from what am I talking about? Anyhow, these guys are even. So let's see what happens in game 3. Are you psyched? Cause I am. Let's do it.
Alright, so here it is, game 3 of LiquidHuk versus mouzThorZaIN. Like I said it backwards that time, dyslexia does run into my family. So, in the bottom left-hand corner of Tal'Darim Altar here, we've got mouzThorZaIN with the Have Fun. And in the top left-hand corner of Tal'Darim Altar, is it LE? Yes, it's LE, sorry, ignore that. We have the Good Luck, Have Fun, Good Game LiquidHuk. And he'll be our Protoss player that, although, you know, definitely had excellent play here last game. I really gotta say I hope to see a little better out of him this game. I was somewhat unimpressed with his unit comp last game, and just how he really struggled with transitioning back and forth from Colossi to High Templar. And I think ThorZaIN, you know, was feeling the vibes. He was like, you're not doing too good of a job here dropping your High Templar without me noticing exactly when you drop them. I'm recalling, if you guys remember seeing that instance, you know, where he scanned right after like 5 High Templar had just started warping in. ThorZaIN scanned the exact spot where they were all warping in and was like, you don't have that plus 25 energy upgrade anymore because it doesn't exist, so you can't use those. And then just like massively pushed in immediately after seeing them. Yeah, it was a rough game for Huck, but I think, I don't know, ThorZaIN's definitely, you know, on like in a grooving mood right now. He's like feeling good, but Huck's got it in him to take this. Huck is an excellent player. I think he's living in the Startail house right now in Korea, but I am not absolutely positive of that. I just remember hearing it somewhere along the grapevine. But as they were discussing earlier, Slayer's house has taken in ThorZaIN here. Soon we may see Slayer's ThorZaIN. Gotta doubt it, but it'd be sweet, wouldn't it? Maybe they would. Maybe like they really like ThorZaIN. They'll be like, "Oh, you should join our team. Look at this. Look at this." Did Huck? Oh man, I think he was able to see that. And it looks like these guys are just out of vision of each other. But it does look like Huck's gonna be like, "Nope, I'm gonna turn around." I'm kind of befuddled right now as to why you know, he chose to do that at such a late moment. But skipping this Xel'Naga Tower, he's like, "Yep. You know what? I know where you are already." So pull up this production tab here so see what everybody's up to. Gotta, you know, this is not a fast gas from Huck, but it is a quicker gas. So we're not likely to see any aggression play, but what this does really help is if you want a lot of sentries, to go with a quick expand. This is the timing you want your second gas to be. Now if you want to go like a Dark Templar rush or something, you drop your second gas prior to dropping your cybernetics core. But ThorZaIN still got this little guy running all over the board right now, and he just like cannot find exactly what it is he's looking for in life. These Marines still at the top of the ramp, and I mean, it's nice, you know, putting these in a forward position. I really, Artosis made a comment the other week about how he likes having them at the bottom of the ramp, and you know, it is really nice to put it at the bottom of the ramp because then you got an opponent that really just has no idea. Sitting at the top of the ramp like this, it's just become so common metagame now, like, oh, I move my Marines to the top of the ramp when I'm expanding. And it does help, you know, to just keep your opponent a little more in the dark. But now we're getting close to this Stalker timing coming out, and, you know, it's a little more risky to be at the bottom of the ramp at that point. But yeah, I was looking, I was like, that is like a Stalker, and that's why. The Stalker was clearing the Xel'Naga Tower. Huck warping in a pylon here, and maybe we aren't. See, I was expecting with his quicker gas, you know, get some sentries, but it does look like Huck wants to play a more aggressive one-base game and try to punish this expansion that ThorZaIN has so rapidly taken with some Blink Stalkers. And that could prove to be really effective. If he gets units around this bunker here, if he can just zip them on by, he can warp in a lot of guys up here, and even more importantly, these reinforcements that we're stringing in, he can just blink them up, as Blink is already halfway complete. It can be done a hell of a lot sooner than Stim, which at this point is only a quarter of the way done. And I'm really curious to see how Huck is going to use Blink to his advantage. I mean, he can obviously use it, you know, to like blink past and just like, you know, do that sort of thing. But he could also, you know, use one blink to like blink past here and then blink a massive amount of forces up the cliff. It does look like he's gathering his forces here. And you know what? ThorZaIN's like, I don't like this pylon location. I'm going to take this out. But I don't know. That might push Huck to push here. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. All these Stalkers completely out of position. Nowhere near their bunker. There are 4 in the back here, but Huck does not have Blink recycled in time to be able to use that. He is stutter stepping these, blinking outside of those SCVs. So that's not going to work too well. And now, wow, what an excellent location here for this pylon. That was absolutely genius by Huck. Didn't even notice that with the pylon location, allowing him to warp in these Stalkers to the high ground here. And now he's just going to blink back down and come around and recycle and do it all again. So, 1 Marine sitting on this pylon, but I gotta say, with how rapid assault this blink harass is, and see Huck can come to the top of this ramp, blink across, and then blink these forces up. I really like this from Huck. I really like this. So here he goes again. It looks like he's got this 1 Stalker in a location that allows him to blink up where he wants. And he is gonna blink up now. The SCVs are gonna be pulled off the line, and here's where the damage starts piling up for ThorZaIN. He's got a lot of these SCVs that already have sustained very high amounts of damage. And I like how he blinks down the Stalkers to maintain vision on the high ground while losing his, you know, few of his forces possible, but really taking some unnecessary damage there while hugging the edge of this cliff a little too much. And I don't like how he's poking up against this bunker. Marauder range is already long enough as it is. Now you're extending their range because, you know, they're a Marauder in a bunker. He's getting off a lot of free shots with the Stalkers, so... Very nice, though. Blinking at the right timing, that the shots are actually missing the Stalker. I like that. He was relying there on ThorZaIN focus firing the injured Stalkers. And I think this is the level where we're going to see StarCraft start getting to in the future. But now, just a light engagement here, making the SCVs get pulled off the line. Let's take a look at the worker count and what's going on back in Huck's base while we have this like crazy micro fest going on. Huck's actually up now a little behind in the worker count. He does have his Nexus drop down. He's warping in a few Zealots back in his main. Okay, he actually does have a 14, but yeah. So, warping in these Zealots, and that's going to help with this extended range Marauder fire. Perhaps that's the reason he went with it. Perhaps not. It does look like he's going to try to fend off this Hellion that's coming in. And then, I mean, his warp timing should almost be up. Yep, it's completed. So, once a probe dies here, he'll be able to warp in something. But for now, he's supply blocking himself. So he's got a pylon warping in here. Still another 5 seconds left on that. Meanwhile, this Hellion's just, you know, having a ball. He has managed to kill 3 workers now. But if you compare that, you know, to, as we saw that, the amount of workers that Huck has been able to steal from ThorZaIN here, it's a much more hefty number. But 20 workers when you expand as late as you have, Huck, it doesn't really amount to much. So now Huck's going to be trying to catch up on his worker count, get chrono boosting this Nexus, and he's really got to do everything he can to get back in this game. Although he did do a substantial amount of damage to ThorZaIN, it was not game ending, but it wasn't even enough of a hindrance to let him catch up. He really was on the run most of the time that he was in ThorZaIN's base, and that's the power of SCVs combined with, you know, this high DPS bio. They are just the ultimate beach shield. When you have command center, you don't really pay for having lost those SCVs because you can drop mules. And you can still run, you know, more than 1 base worth of barracks. So we do see a lot of heavy bio play out of ThorZaIN right now, along with the medevacs, as you know, would suspect for Marine or medevac play. Nothing too surprising there. And he does have this, I like this turret location. He's like, look, you're behind right now. Huck, you're behind. And I know that, you know, Protoss players, when they're behind, they might take drastic measures. So I'm going to make sure you can't slip any DT into my base. And now he can't do exactly that. So, not that Huck's taking the DT route, but ThorZaIN really is preparing himself for everything. And I'm honestly beginning to fear a little for Huck. I mean, take a look at the work count. 40 to 43. Never good for a Protoss player to be down in work count. The mules are just gonna, you know, I mean, look at the income, 1,500 and 400 to 3,200. And it looks like he has slipped a DT into this base. He focuses down this turret the second everybody leaves the base. And, wow, just absolutely immaculate timing there from Huck. I was looking for his DT shrine. And where, okay, it's hiding up here in the corner. Racking up some SCV kills there. Definitely doing a good amount of damage. Bringing himself a little more back into this. He's got 41 harvests, 40 now. But this is not an engagement that Huck really should be making. I think he realizes that and blinks out. So, looking back at Huck's man, I mean, he's got some forces waiting up here, prepared to deal with any drops. I would like to see charge research already completed. Yeah, already completed. And this is just the multitasking the casting really requires. A lot of jumping around the board. It's almost as bad as playing StarCraft itself. But a lot more looking. It's basically like you have two mini-maps. Oh, let's look at this mini-map that's like what all the buildings on the map are making, and then this mini-map that tells you where everything is on the board. So, 2 forges going down right now for Huck, and I think, where are they? He just really wants to get back in this via upgrades. He's doing a good job at keeping ThorZaIN at bay, you know, in his base. And if ThorZaIN does opt to push here, which I think he might because of this low stalker count, and a pretty damaged stalker count, mind you, but completely unnecessary there by Huck losing 2 stalkers for no reason, and he couldn't actually blink away from that because he had just blinked up the cliff here, and then he proceeded to walk right in front of ThorZaIN's army, so Huck a little falling apart, to be honest, but here comes this push from ThorZaIN, and he's going to be surprised at the number of forces that Huck actually has. I love how he hides these zealots. Can ThorZaIN see these? He can see them, in fact, and now he's going to pull back. Actually, it looks like he is deciding he wants to continue tangoing, and I'd say maybe that's to delay this turret from Huck, but Huck is not afraid at all. Oh, Huck losing 4 stalkers there for absolutely no reason. Yes, forcing a stim, but that is not the type of play you want to make as a Protoss player. Against a Terran with 4 medevacs on very high, you know, at a, not high, but a moderate amount of energy. He's got enough to heal his army. And losing stalkers for no reason once again. We're really seeing ThorZaIN just whittle apart Huck's stalker count, and not because of another 2 stalkers go down. Wow, Huck is just like I used the term whittle earlier. That's exactly what's happening here. The stalker piece is just falling away, and now even with this army trap, there are not enough stalkers to get out the DPS. Huck needs to handle this ball, and I think this is going to be the end of the game. There's, you know, this massive army right there. Huck just threw all his zealots and stuff into that force, and he's dual upgrading right now. He's got 2 forges going, research and upgrades. And Huck did not want to make any engagements that he wasn't absolutely sure he could win. And he did, simply put, he did not have the DPS there. So now the desperation DT is coming out for Huck. And he's going to come down here and attempt to do some harass. But now there's 2 missile turrets in place for ThorZaIN. He does have a rally point up that's set towards the 3rd. It's actually not set back, but it looks like ThorZaIN's well aware of what's going on. He's stimming this 1 Marauder fort, gets the concussive shells off. I really like that. The single stim to catch the DT, and the rest of them go down. So there is 1 DT that's swung out to this location here, and a couple zealots being warped in from this pylon that Huck had earlier. But all of this is really just serving to delay almost the inevitable. I don't want to call it the inevitable, but ThorZaIN's ahead by a lot, by a landslide. 68 workers right now to 41. Huck just trying to find any way to get back into this, but I'm honestly afraid he's just going to lose. Good. He doesn't lose any stalkers, any more stalkers for no reason. Because he's really just been doing that. The whole game he's been losing a stalker. It hasn't been a stalker here. There goes a stalker. It's been like 2 stalkers here and 3 stalkers here. And that's really been the story of this game. Is Huck's in? They should, if they write a book about this game, it should be titled "Huck's Inferior, Excessively Low Stalker Count." I'm always going to use the word inferior just because, like, when you don't have those stalkers, you simply do not have the DPS to go up against the parent. So, yeah, blinking out of that engagement, not losing a Stalker for like the first or second time that he's ever tried to poke a shot. And I gotta say, ThorZaIN, you know, playing immaculately, just not making any mistakes this game. And it's really showing. He has a gigantic MM ball. He's even starting to mix, you know, we saw those 3 ghosts earlier, now he's got 4 of them out. So, that little DT slipping in somewhere there. ThorZaIN's not gonna hesitate to scan. And at this point, you know, he drops the planetary, just playing it safe. He's like, look, I'm not gonna have you come in here with DTs and screw this game up for me. So, Huck up, loses another Stalker. So he plays this part safe. He's like, I'm gonna make this a planetary. Got another starport going down, a little unnecessary, but be able to pump out those medevacs, and if Huck starts transitioning to Colossus, he can get some Vikings out there. But really the answer is, ThorZaIN, that Huck is transitioning into a loss. That's basically what this game is amounting up to. All these Zealots really aren't going to do much when they're only backed up by, what, 7 or 8 mediocre health. Stalkers, and there go down all the EMPs, the entire Protoss army with no shields now whatsoever. This is going to spell the end of the game for Huck. GG. And a great game between these two guys, but I really, Huck just made countless bad engagements. And it really added up to when they had that big engagement where Huck pinned that MM ball against the edge somewhere along here. I think it was about right here. That he simply didn't have the Stalker count to do the damage that he needed to do. So, great game. But ThorZaIN really just outclassing, outplaying, and out-microing, honestly. Out-microing Huck, which, you know, you don't hear that too often, but that's exactly what happened in this game. So, great series between these two guys. Looking forward to seeing some more of ThorZaIN's games, because he did a really good job in this DreamHack tournament, and I know I haven't seen enough of the games from it. So I'll catch you guys later, and look for more casts involving ThorZaIN or the tournaments from DreamHack coming up on my YouTube in the next few days. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'll catch you later. Bye.